is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. We're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets, a team that has been very quiet, but they still has got off to a good start. You can say the same thing about them last year. A lot of people knew that they'd be a playoff team, but they didn't know how good they would be, and they earned a lot of our respect. And they almost made it one game away from the Western Conference Finals, where they would have played beat up Golden State Warriors team, no KD, no DeMarcus, and stuff like that. Denver has actually been pretty steady this year. Jokic and the players didn't play well, but they were still good enough to win games. And that's the biggest thing about Denver is, as a team that has been on the bubble, as a team that has been in the NBA for a long time, with this current core, they have missed the playoffs a couple years, and now they just look like one of the better teams and one of the teams with the brightest future. The thing about Denver is you just wonder, can they get over the hump? We look at the Carmelo and the other Denver teams years ago and decades ago, and they just could never get over the hump. They showed that they can be contenders. They showed that they had, good drafting skills and development skills of certain players, but they team always cap out as not a contender. And I think that I wonder that with this team, like, we know they're good. We know Jokic is one of the best players in the world. He played well last year, played even better in the playoffs. They came up short. They didn't really make that many roster changes coming into this season. They did do the Jeremy Grant trade, which I thought was genius, and they didn't really have to give up much. I did like them bringing back Paul Millsap because he fits and really gives them something. When Jokic is so slow and so big, it gives them a guy that can guard other, power forwards and small forwards, and a guy that can rebound and is a solid defender. So I liked that pickup. Plus, they can let him go this year, and they can slide in somebody like Michael Porter. And people wonder why Michael Porter ain't getting minutes. Why Michael Porter ain't getting minutes? I don't really think it matters. When you one of the best teams in the West is all about winning. If Michael Carter Williams I'm not Michael Carter, when Michael Porter can't contribute to winning, then you don't have to really focus on that. This team is not rebuilding. This team is not trying to develop young talent. They're trying to go out there and compete, and that's one reason why I felt like Michael Porter wasn't getting the minutes, is because they want to win now, and that's why they traded Moutier. That's why they signed Jamal Murray to the extension. That's why they signed Jokic to the extension. They really committed to their starting lineups. And remember, they even paid Gary Harris. So Michael Porter, he's the future probably, but he's not going to really make that big of a difference offensively and defensively to help them win games now. And the proof is they finished second, I believe, in the West last year, and this season they're second. They're 10-3. So it ain't like they making a mistake by not playing Michael Porter or not giving him minutes. They're still winning games. They're still one of the best teams in the entire NBA, regardless of conference. And the record shows that. So it's not a mistake not playing Michael Carter. Not Michael Carter, Michael Porter, but it's not a mistake. This is something that they decided to do, and they still been able to back it up with wins. I feel like another thing, they had a lot of nagging injuries that took out a lot of their players. I think that's another thing that really hurted them last year. They was able to win anyway and compete, but this year they're a lot more healthy, and this year they just look a lot more balanced. It's like it's not just Jokic trying to do everything he can to help the team win, whether it's passing or knocking down shots. I feel like he closed a couple games for them this year, but it hasn't been Jokic or die, because I feel like that's how they was playing throughout the last couple of seasons. Is we gonna get the ball to Jokic and he's gonna make all the plays, set all the screen, do all the dribble handoffs. And now they allowing Jokic to play his role, but they're not depending and really relying on Jokic to do everything like I feel like they did, especially last year. But he showed that he was capable of doing that. But when you have this much talent on a roster, you shouldn't have to do that. Plus, Jokic hasn't, as we know, hasn't been playing his best basketball. But he's starting to get it back going, and it's only not even 3 months in the season, so I think he'll be fine. And I like Jamal Murray. I feel like is he worth that max extension? And we still have to find that out. He hasn't made that big leap that we thought that he probably would coming off the season that he had and having a disappointing playoffs because he was a little bit streaky. And I think that that's been the Achilles heel of his career. We know Jamal Murray as a jump shooter. The only problem is he has struggled throughout his career as a consistent shooter. This year, he's giving you 42% from the field, with 36% from three and 88% from the free throw line. But he's still only giving you 5.2 assists and 18.5 points. And the field goal percentage finishing hasn't improved. The floater game hasn't improved. And scoring off the dribble is still streaky. Even though he is a solid point guard, he's not one of the best point guards in the league. He doesn't even seem like he can possibly be an all-star in the Western Conference. But the thing about it is, do you really need Jamal Murray to be an all-star? Do you really need him to be a superstar? Well, Michael Porter can't make that transition. They're going to eventually have to have somebody to really help Jokic out offensively and just being able to create their own shot. And they haven't been able to find that player yet. And even when they haven't drafted that player yet unless Michael Porter becomes that. You look at Jokic, 47% from the field, 26% from three, 75% from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 5.8 assists, and 17 points. It's clear that, Jokic hasn't been playing well and he hasn't become that all NBA player that we have seen. And even in November, he's still leaving a terrible 3-point mark with 27% from three. He's still shooting only 46% from the field. He's not dominating the ball, but he's also not dominating the boards. So I really want to see what direction that they go in the future to actually get over that hump and become a legitimate championship team. And that's where Denver is at right now. At first, they was a team that was young and up and coming that kept getting their heart broke, and now suddenly they arrive. But will they ever get over the hump? And that's what I want Denver fans to think. How can this team become a championship level team? Record wise, they look like one, but when you watch the games, it really isn't close. And I feel like that's something that we've seen when they struggled against San Antonio and win 7 games with them. We seen right then and there that they really wasn't prepared to take that leap to become a contender. And I really wasn't expecting it anyway because that was their first year in the playoffs. And I actually picked it to be a long series, even though I did pick Denver to win. I thought that Spurs gave them something that was going to really hurt them. And it was reality because that's what ended up happening. And then they struggled to even beat a Portland team who I never thought was championship contenders since they had Damian Lillard. And I still don't think they're championship contenders either. But they both are teams that stuck in the same boat with players that are great, but the team around them just not enough to win. And that's kind of surprising because Denver has a team with a lot of talent and a lot of depth, but it just doesn't add up when the game slows down and when you need somebody to get you a bucket. If Jamal Murray can't score off the dribble, like I said, he's inconsistent and create shots, it's going to be tough for them to literally beat a team like the Lakers and the Clippers when they have those guys. Plus, those guys have solid defenders and great defenders. You have the Danny Greens and LeBron has stepped it up. AD and Dwight have stepped it up. But also you have Beverly. You have Kawhi. You have Paul George. And those guys can guard Jamal Murray and make them struggle even worse. And they can guard them one-on-one. You don't have to trap or double Jokic. You don't have to trap or double Jamal Murray. And that's when the game become ugly because now you have to grind. Plus you have to find a way to get a quality shot. The only problem is you don't have the personnel to do that. And I've seen that Jokic, he did his thing so far this year, but he's going to have to be dominant if he really wants to become that guy that can push them over the top. And maybe Jokic isn't that guy. But then again, I don't think that's a bad thing because I think Jokic is a team player. And that can benefit him going to the second option. I think Jokic wouldn't have a problem becoming a second or a third option. And I don't think it's crazy to believe that he will because I don't really see Jokic evolving into a top 5 player. Is he one of the top players? Yes. This season is not proving that, but also the season is not over. But let me know what you guys think at the end of the day. Do you think Denver can become a legitimate championship contender? Do you think Denver is a championship contender? Or do you think that they would just be a team that's great for the next couple of seasons, but not good enough to win it and get over the hump and get to the finals? We done seen so many teams fall to Golden State. This year is no Golden State. This year is a lot more open and the teams are a lot more closer. But also, I still feel like Denver is still behind the other teams. And you shouldn't be saying that about a team that has become the number 2 seed for back-to-back seasons, and nobody's really threatened or scared by this team. People feel like they can go out there and beat Denver. People feel like they can go out there and defeat them. And you don't want to have you want your teams that you're going against, your opponents, to basically fear you. You want your opponents to be like, damn, this is gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a tough one. We got to bring our A game. And I feel like you can just go out there and play Denver, and you can play your best basketball, and you most likely can win. And San Antonio showed that, and Portland showed that last year in the playoffs. But also, I don't think they made a substantial move that can really make you fear him. And Jokic is a guy that's nice and cool and quiet. So he doesn't really put the fear in you either, because he just goes about his business and play his game, which isn't a problem, but it also, just justify my whole reason. But let me know what you guys think at the end of the day. Denver pretenders or Denver contenders? Um, that's going to be the question. And I really want to see what they do these next 2 to 3 years, as they are one of the best teams in the West. They have one of the best young nucleus, but they also want to win it all. And I think they further from that than people think. But then again, I could be wrong. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.